Hello, Wargames Illustrated review, issue number 365, March 2018. Okay, right, there's a lot in this issue. It's a bumper one. I've had technical issues and done this a few times, so I'm going to charge in a little bit. If you remember last video, I made some predictions as to what would be in here. Nearly all of them are in here, but there are also a few things I didn't see coming, and they're great. Loads of bonuses. This is a big action-packed issue. Right, okay, without further ado, straight in, some reviews. We got Osprey Publishing. It's a war book about Finland. Plug for the Salute game they put together. I have to say that Wicker Man there looks great. UK Games Expo, June 1st to 3rd in NEC. I should be trying to get along for that. House advert for their subscriptions. Right, now, one of my gripes is there's not enough information about what stuff's coming out. Well, there's loads this month. There's some plastic Ospreys, plastic Zulus from the Perrys. These look really nice, footsore miniatures, and with all the Dark Age stuff out at the moment, I think they'll do quite well. I might even get some myself. Warlord, slightly larger scale, Gun and Limber. And we've got someone called Baknin, I don't know how you say that. Baknin Miniatures. The Boshin Wars, and that's not something I know a lot about. So there we go, might look into that. First Corps are also, or Curtis, they're also producing quite a lot of Dark Age stuff. So I guess they can see what's coming along. This we've already featured, Italians in Flames of War. And all about their kit and the tanks. Funny enough, last night at their club, one of the guys was playing Italian Army, so there you go. This is what I did expect to see a bigger scenario on, is, there we are, Ghost Archipelago, Lost Colossus scenario. We've got the Campaign Market Garden, that's bolt action. My grandfather's brother, so my great uncle Bob, was in Operation Market Garden as a Red Beret, so there you go, interesting one for me. And Dracula's America Hunting Grounds. I thought we were going to get more of a scenario on that, maybe next month. I have to say, there's less emphasis on skirmish this month, still a lot of it there. Right, Osprey Games, Kobolds and Cobstones, which I think looks to me like Mordheim. It's got gangs and all that kind of stuff. And a whole load of books on tanks, and one on the American Civil War. Oops, excuse me. Right, okay, Oathmark adverts looking very good again. We've got the goblins being featured this time as their plastics. North Star, see this is interesting. We've got a lot of Napoleonic stuff coming out as well. So the main traditional wargaming is doing well. I guess it depends on how much relative coverage it gets. Right, okay. Pete Brown's first article, Ambush. Talking about ambushes in a generic way and bringing in specific examples. He's a great writer, it's a good one. He does say there's 3 types of ambush and then lists 5. So you get 2 free, okay? And it's things like failed ambushes and then counter ambushes. What else there was there? Inevitable defeat. And what he talks about, is, apart from the great eye candy you always get Wargames Illustrated, is how you can put these into games, because no one wants to be the one, hey, I'm going to get jumped and lose everything. And people are ultra cautious if they know there's an ambush happening. So some ideas to get around that, which I won't give away. Lots of Wargames Foundry, eye candy, and tempting goodies. They are beautiful. Quite fancy some more footnotes. Like I need more, and I've got a backlog of work stuff to paint as well, so my stuff is not getting done at the moment. Right, first big article, Saga 2. I don't know why it doesn't say Saga 2 on the rulebook, actually. Big 2. On the envelope they sent me, where's it gone? I drew my own graphics and stuff just to make it look a bit prettier. I put a big 2 on it, so I know which books, which thing. Anyway, played it last night a few times. Going to do a review on that. There were 6 of us playing it, all former Saga players, so this is kind of more of that general chat. And who's this time? Saga aficionado, Dom Saw. He obviously knows his stuff, and it's an interesting article. I think he goes a bit easy on them in some ways, and also mention the Book of Battles is coming next. So you buy the rule book, beautiful rule book, full of, anyway, do a review, that's a tip, anyway. Basically, you've got to buy a lot of books if you want to get everything. It's going to be quite a bill by the end of it. And one of the things I'm going to talk about is how I make my own dice. And I slightly modify the battle boards. I have different colours and things. Because, there you go. Dice sets at 12 quid each, 6 lots of them, another £70. Anyway, there's a lot about Saga 2 launch. And see what he thinks about that. You can see what I think about it in another video. Osprey's growing line of wargaming books. Great to see them putting more and more stuff out. I wish some of these games were more play tested, to be honest. Lion Rampant, play a lot, it's great. And I think, what's it called? King's Service or something? What's the... In the Majesty... Anyway, the kind of colonial battles one, I heard good reports about. Most of them, I'm afraid, don't play too well. Now, this is the article I was confusing in my miniature war games review because it's some scenarios, sort of generic ones. You can use any period, any figures. And what confused me with Conrad Finch's article was these 1979 British troops and that. Very similar to the article he put in the other magazine. This is Mike Bradford, very good article. And then he's done different scenarios or ambush scenarios in different periods. Do it as a medieval version or a Napoleonic or a salutes coming up. Right, April 18th, is it? 14th, sorry, April 14th. Right, now this was a nice surprise article. And it starts off, world-renowned military historian Ian Knight. Now there's a build-up, world-renowned. Fair play to him. I mean, I've got the 24th or the South Wales Border Museum just up the road in Brecon with the Zulu stuff. And I've done a lot of reading and research, very interested in it. This guy somehow surprised me, a whole article about shields. I know I say you shouldn't have too much history, make it wargaming, but especially with peri-plastic Zulus coming out, if you're going to paint Zulus, shields are the most standout feature, really. And here's how they chose them, the colours they are, why they're the colours they are. Really interesting article, loads of depth. Just a great magazine to have on your coffee table this month. I have to say, I was a bit down and gloomy last month. Very impressed this month. There we are, there's your 3 sets of paints from Wargames Foundry. Okay, Stamford Bridge then, and we got good old Daniel Mercy, the writer of Lion Rampant, and various other games. Excellent writer. Very entertaining piece about the battle. Lots of history and discussion about the formations, the circular shield walls and where the Saxons actually mounted. All that kind of stuff. Very interesting. Loads of beautiful pictures. And there's some scenarios such as defending the bridge as a skirmish. And then he's got deployment zones, different phases of the battle. Really, you know, it's good stuff. This caught my eye, one of the adverts, Lucid Eye Publications. I don't know them. With Savage Core, Age of Ice. See, I've seen that mentioned. And his Cosmic, the treasures from the Cosmic Vault. The Red Book of the Elf King I've heard mentioned. They do figures and all sorts. You know, there's their web address. Go and have a look. And there's Deep Cut with more boards. And this thing, which I know from having just read my new miniature war games, is a dice roller. You can clip it up, put it on the table and roll your dice without the dice going everywhere. So there you go, thinking of everything. Now this, really, my eyes lit up. Here we go, big showcase for King and Parliament. Written by Simon Miller. It's based on his Two of the Strongest rules and it's Renaissance or English Civil War. And the first thing I'll say to Simon who's watching this, I got 2 little boys learning phonetic letters, you know, A, B, K, D, E. And FK&P is a dangerous one. So I don't know what people are going to start calling this when they abbreviate it to an acronym. So we'll go for FK&P, I think. Do you want to go with FK&P rather than the alternative? Beautiful eye candy. Great article. I've known Simon quite well through the Two of the Strongest. He's very kindly sent me an advanced copy of the rules. And there's a gang of us on Sunday the 18th. I'm going to be playing a game using James's fantastic figure collection. We might have to use 15mm instead of 28 because of fitting things in the boxes. And he's got a big collection of both. He's a bit of an ECW nut, reenactor, dresses up, the whole thing. So that's going to be great. Oh, I might even get him to see if he'll wear some of his uniform. Anyway, this tells you all about the game. I'm looking forward to it. I really like Two of the Strongest. This is big battles. This is a great set of rules. The games play quickly. And they are challenging. Don't be put off. When I played my first 4 or 5 games of Two of the Strongest, I thought it was a bit childish and the cards and all seemed oversimplified. Very subtle game. And I'm sure this will be the same. And there's fabulous eye candy and all that kind of stuff. Right down to 6mm. different scales, what you need. Big articles. This is a big magazine this month, you know, for a £5. It's pretty good, I reckon. Okay, Adrian's Wars advert, which is like an article. It's very good. And more from Badger Games. They seem to be doing a lot. Yeah, you can see their website. Boom, boom, boom. Right, plowing through. This surprised me as well. You know, I'm not a big tank fan, not really a treadhead, but I am trying to learn more about modern tactics and modern weapons. And this, Yom Kippur War, not a period I've particularly studied, fascinating article. All about different tactics used by the sides. You got missile launchers against tanks, that kind of thing. And how to set it up as a game, the forces you'll need, books on the subject. That's a proper article reviewing a campaign, a specific battle, specific scenario, figures you can use, rules you can use, orders of battle. Brilliant, brilliant, really good. I'm not even going to ever play this probably, although after the article I am tempted. But it's just enjoyable to read. History Works Gaming, so I'm not quite sure what this is. Accessories and stuff, I think it's American. Maybe you can pick up the details or buy the magazine, of course. And here's, as I was saying earlier, First Corps, Curtis are doing more Dark Age stuff, which is good news. And English Civil War, there we are. Anyone would think there was a new English Civil War rule set out. Oh yes, there is, we just saw it. Right, it goes on and on. Living in a material world. This display game won Best in Show, and it's all done on material, like cloth and felt. So you can just fold it up, and he's how he did it. Very engaging writer. Lots of clever tips about using hot air and cutting things out, how to get that effect. And it really does look stunning. Yeah, I'll give you some ideas, and I'm going quite quickly because there's a lot in it. And having done this a few times, it's all gone wrong. I'm hoping this one loads up. Right. Advert for Historicon, there's some details on that. There's these trips you can go on, visiting battlegrounds and stuff, which I've heard are very good. Which one are they plugging at the moment? D-Day landings in Paris. Ooh, that'd be nice. A few days in France. Right, interesting little article, 20mm, the Forgotten World War II scale. Well, as he says in the article, it's far from forgotten, there's a massive range of stuff. And if you're a bit of a cheapskate like me, you've got your old 172nd Airfix soldiers knocking around, there's more or less is 20mm. That's what I use. And then armour fast tanks are really cheap. But here you go, lots of options. Looks fantastic. Almost getting there. Now, notice more Dark Ages. I noticed that Hail Caesar's doing the Shield Wall book. I know that's getting covered in the magazine, other places. Obviously the plastic Dark Age being pushed. There's a real thing on that at the moment. And there's Heinz special offer on. So Dark Ages, why not? I like it. Or early medieval, I think you meant to call it these days. I just hope the Cymric and British, or Celtic, not so much Celtic, Cymric British, get a good viewing. They seem to be getting more coverage. Right, Battle of Hereford, 1055. That's the author there, that's Pete Brown. Obviously a top writer, very good. Gives you all the historical background of forces. And then he gives playing the game using sword point Dark Ages rules, and then the Mortem et Gloriam rules, playing the same battle two different ways, with, you know, the usual standard you expect in Wargames Illustrated. Massive tables, loads of figures, beautifully painted, loads of action shots. And again, quality article, comparing the two rule sets. Scrappers, I don't know a lot about, I'm afraid. I do try and read everything so I can do these reviews. This is for a post-apocalyptic skirmish survival type game. I'm sure it's fine. I can't really judge it. Not a period I really do much of. It does look fun, and there's some nice painted stuff. So if you want to do more of that, it's in here. Something for everyone in this issue. It's not dominated by skirmish. I think some people thought I'm anti-skirmish. I'm not. I do skirmish games a lot. I was playing Saga last night, which is a kind of skirmish game. It shouldn't be the only thing. And there's a show report. If you haven't been there, the show's in Australia, so if you're nearby, go in. Looks friendly, guys. It's a good report. Dun, dun, dun. Some nice... the standard of displays in shows has gone up, well, worldwide, the last few years. Okay, and then we've got the ads at the back, so I'm not going to spend too much time on. Oh, there's one to bear in mind. West Midlands Military Show, Sunday, 18th of March, 2018. Feistern, my friend Dave, Art Master, they're offering. So there we go. So what an action-packed magazine, loads in it. Right to the back. Oh, Giants in Miniature, that's those personality figures. I'm waiting for someone to send me those to paint. I'd love to. Wargames Illustrated, and then we're on the big Saga launch, which, as I said, I shall be reviewing. I've also got the To the Strongest English Civil War for King and Parliament, FK&P. I laugh every time I hear those letters now. And lots of other stuff going on. So I think it was an excellent magazine. There's loads in it. It's took me ages to read it, just by the sheer volume of articles. It caught my attention. So I'm going to give that full marks. I can't really give a 10 because I get nowhere to go when they go even better. So I'm going to say 9. And let me know what you think. And until the next time. Oh, sorry. One here. Do want to mention, if anyone wants to come along, Firestorm, Cardiff, start in midday. We're setting up from about 11 o'clock in the morning. We're going to do the large English Civil War game using the new To the Strongest rules. Just drop in if you want to join us. It should be good fun. So until the next time, keep rolling and keep flipping.
谁的心就这样彼此无挂也无牵，我们要互相亏欠。